It's your duty and responsibility as a bowler to be skilled enough and equipped enough to try different things.
How much time are you spending going around the wicket, over the wicket, specific balls, swinging the ball away, bringing it back in?
I think that's a really important thing to practice. I think a lot of times guys will go to nets and they just want to stay bowling over the wicket and make them feel comfortable. I think practices are there to make you feel uncomfortable and try different things. So the moment you go into game and those scenarios could come up, you're ready for it. So I think, yes, you have to practice those things. I did a lot because we were lucky at Graham Smith that was quite left-hander. I quite enjoyed practicing to him because he was pretty skillful against guys coming around the wicket to him. So I bowled around the wicket, trying to take it away from him. Then I would then not forget about the option coming over. So for me, is these days, guys say, listen, we're bowling around the wicket to guys, and they stick to the plan. Just bowling to left-handers around the wicket, and guys normally get used to it. So I think you've got to practice being adaptable bowling over and around the wicket, and then also try and play around with different deliveries. It's your duty and responsibility as a bowler to be skilled enough and equipped enough to try different things with control, if that makes sense. So when you're going around the wicket, try and play with the different angles at the crease, because the different angle of the crease, okay, it's already a different angle. That is already like a variation without even trying. Then the different balls you can play around with. Once again, it all depends on the conditions. I say a lot of times conditions dictate what you have to do and how you want to go about it. So if the ball is maybe not swinging as much, it might be then play around with the angle of the seam in your hand. It might go easier seaming away. Then that could be your delivery for the day, and you might forget about the one that comes back. Maybe just if you can keep it cross seam and keep it going straight, that's also an option to try. But I think it's just a thing you have to play around with at practices, so you know what you can do and what you can't do. So by the time you go into the game, you've tried these options, and it's not strange to you.
In terms of practicing bouncers, if you've got a youngster currently, there's a lot said about bowling line and length and putting a cloth down there, and it just seems a bit more straightforward to kind of practice that in the nets. But how would you advise a youngster in terms of bowling an effective bouncer?
I think the bouncer, sometimes people think it's just for intimidation. Yes, it plays a part, but also if you're a real good length bowler, you move the ball away from a good length quite consistently. If you have a very effective bouncer, it stopped the guy's feet. Now it's got two things to think about. And then if you can hit your consistent length quite well, then it actually brings in a dismissal or a bigger chance for dismissal because his feet stuck. So I think it's a very effective ball in general. I think probably the best way for you to train it is to do it at nets. Put your normal little marker or whatever you do at nets where you want to bowl. But I think then put another marker on where you think the best bouncer would be coming through head height. It is also important to make sure you sum up the conditions, which length you have to bowl to make it quite accurate, because you don't want to spend that much energy on bowling a bouncer if it's not directed in the right way and used in the right way. So it's making sure that you're just getting it quite accurate, where you can use what I've used with our guys at Essex. I've got almost like a big, tall broom, put it in a beacon or like a cone, if that's like a street cone, and then put a face of a batter on there, for argument's sake, whoever our bowlers didn't like, and they will have to bowl one or two bouncers in a spell of 5 overs to that beacon to try and see if they can hit that face, just to make sure it's quite accurate and effective instead of wasting energy.